technical aspect, and that's so cool. This is like the Windows screensaver like maze with like the little rat in it, and like you can see places where like it reprojected the jug back onto the jug kind of behind it if you frame by frame, or like there's this weird, oh, it's showing me. Let's see. All right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, or like there's this place where this cable looks like it's kind of intersecting the floor. That's just like a problem from the stitching, where they were stitching the different photos together, and so they slapped this big fatty cable over the top of the whole thing. And it's like, and this isn't bashing on it at all. You pause any shot, any CG shot from a movie, and you can usually start to see the human seams, where it's like you look at any shot of a city, and you'll see the duplicated assets everywhere. But it's one face, it's one image. In fact, it's almost a finished wall, because some philosophers have speculated that walls might be nothing more than just a single planar surface. All right, so we import it as a plane. We can extrude it a little bit. We can do it again. We can bring in a ground plane. I like to line up corners and edges, because there's these microbiomes that exist in corners that are like hard to do in CG. You get that for free with image textures. Add edge loops, extrude some stuff. We're beveling. We're going to turn the lamp into a sun lamp. This is a Blender conference. You all know exactly like how this goes. But this is a picture I took in my town, doing the exact same thing, just extruding it out, really low poly, edge loops, extruding. I like to add extra emphasis on the windows, just because they're going to be high contrast areas. You can either make like the windows glossy, so they're reflecting back into the environment, or set up like an image texture, behind it, so it looks like it actually has some depth. I'm going to project this at a slight offset, because if you project straight on, you get that shearing along that axis. And then you can just copy and paste, because it's all in the computer. It's maybe wrong, but I've started stealing things from just places, coffee shops, and like out on the street. You set it up as the camera background, model some stuff, project from view, and you just have it. And then it's easy to get carried away, so I'm like, I'm going to make this shelf, just slapping that all together. Pop, 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 pop. And then there's this shearing, and so it's like, all right, we'll just reproject that bit and line it up with this little bit of wood down there. And it's like, this is maybe not great for like a featured thing, but if it's like a background, if you're trying to make a whole mall, that will totally cut it. Like anything cubic's really easy to unwrap. You don't even have to like do project from view sometimes. You just line up the initial vertices, and then you can do like edge loops and stuff, and it'll just all match. And then you just have it, and you can copy and paste it, and you can use that on like projects forever. So I worked on that shot a little bit more, and somebody asked me if I hand painted the specular maps. It's like, no, that's just plugged into the roughness with a little clamp there, so the darker values are reflective, which is, it's not always the best way to do it, but a lot of times it can get you a surprising far way of the way. I took this photo on vacation, and then later I wanted to make this environment, so I just beveled a cube and kind of lined it all up from the camera view, reprojected, and then you can relight it, and had a little environment, and check it out. My cable intersects with the ground just like David Fincher.
It's important to note that if you right-click while dragging the manipulator, you can cancel the extrude, but it will not remove the duplicate faces. This is intentional, as it allows you to create new geometry at the same location as the originally selected geometry. This can be very helpful when wanting to scale or rotate your extruded mesh. For example, what if we wanted to create a stack of connected cubes? You could simply extrude, right-click cancel, and press S to scale your extrusion down. This will then let you extrude again and confirm to create.
By hitting tab and going into edit, this kind of thickens this area and use this
plane, but allows you to work very roughly and quickly when you need to. For hotkey users, if you're in edit mode, you can actually access the extrude to cursor tool at any time by simply holding Control and right-clicking. Now that we've learned about the extrude tool, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make that chair I made earlier. This is what we want to make, and here's how we do it with the extrude tool. Simply select your cube, go into edit mode, and scale the cube down along the z-axis. We will then use the loop cut tool, which will be covered in its own video, to make some additional cuts on our cube. To use the loop cut tool, simply select it on the quick tools menu and left click drag to create a tic-tac-toe. Let's take a look now at the other related tracking constraints, that being the locked track constraint, the stretch to constraint, and the damped track constraint. Each of these is
My name is Stephen Hawking. My expectations were reduced to 0 at 21. Everything since then has been a bonus. Although I cannot move and I have to speak through a computer, in my mind I am free. I have spent my life traveling across the universe, inside my mind. My goal is simple. It is a complete understanding of the universe, why it is as it is, and why it exists at all. One of the basic rules of the universe is that nothing is perfect. Perfection simply doesn't exist. Without imperfection, neither you or I would exist. Black holes are not really black after all. They glow like a hot body, and the smaller they are, the more they glow. We are very, very small. But we are profoundly capable of very, very big things. There should be no boundaries to human endeavor. However bad life may seem, while there's life, there is hope. Be brave, be curious, be determined. Overcome the odds. It can be done.